up, guys? I'm Grant Owens. I'm joined by Kid the Band. Welcome to We Found Your Music, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Finally, man.
I know. 2.5 years?
2.5 years ago, last time we saw each other was here in Hollywood, school night, and the Ones to Watch evening. And now you're back. You're releasing new music. We're going to talk about all of it.
Yeah.
You just performed Easy for us.
Yeah, that's the new single.
And that's featuring Ellie Due on all streaming platforms now. And so I guess you just sort of built that from scratch, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and I was like, I wonder if he's going to have me play a song.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, I don't have anything. I don't have my guitar, so let's make a track on GarageBand on my phone.
Sounded sick, man. And you mentioned you never do the reverb on there, so it was true to you.
Yeah, very.
You're good for a radio studio if you don't do the reverb. It's like this is your environment right now.
Yeah.
You can do it all. Are you? So what's your live setup these days? I know you kind of like it was pretty all encompassing. Is it still just kind of like the one man show kind of thing where you do it all?
No, it's changed a little bit. So now I bring a drummer out with me and a guitarist sometimes.
Nice.
But like I'm about to go out on tour again, and that's gonna be like just me and a drummer. And so I'll play bass on some things. I'll play guitar. And just kind of mix it up. You know, the last setup when we first met, like I had to stay pretty like locked into like my little station.
That's what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I was just like after that. I mean, that's cool, but I was just like I really want to move around.
Yeah.
I want to explore all that there is to explore.
Definitely. So you mentioned there's going to be some tour dates, so everyone should keep close to your socials. Just sort of see what you
as close as the algorithm will allow.
Well, then follow him, and so you're gonna be all over the U.S.
Yeah.
Can't say much, but yeah. So Easy is out. I guess kind of like what's the style of music you're producing now, and what are you writing about these days?
I would say the older stuff was like a little more alternative leaning, like in a rock way, and there's still that element there to it. But I would say it's I don't know. I think musically, like drum wise, like it's always been like dirty hip hop sample drums,
right?
And with some alt leaning like guitar stuff, and then I would say the stuff like I would like to describe it as urban rock. I don't know if that's a real thing, but like
I feel like it is.
If I were to put a name on it, I'd like to call it that.
I get it.
A&Rs come at me. We'll debate it.
Oh, now I get the sound. All right, urban rock, yes. And then like, who are some of your favorite artists that you have always idolized or just like sort of pull from maybe?
I would say the influences for me are like, I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love the Gorillaz.
Cool. Yep.
And so a lot of that stuff, is like late 90s, early 2000s rock to hip hop. And I like a lot of like 90s hip hop too. So
that's awesome. Yep. That makes a lot of sense. I love what Gorillaz did. Such a change from Blur.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What a huge change for Damon Albarn.
He's insane.
That's so cool. Insane. I mean, that would be a cool artist to play with on stage.
Oh, that'd be rad. I think he wouldn't even let me step on stage, but like I think
you never know, man. It could happen one day, especially in a festival environment.
Yeah.
And then how did you arrive at the name Kid the Band?
So Kid the Band started with my brother and I, and we were thinking about a name, and we thought of all these names that were terrible, like absolutely sucked, and we're like, okay, let's just try to be like what is honest to us, what feels like the closest. And I was like, well, let's take the first two letters of my brother's name, and so that was KY, and then the first letter of my name, and that's D, and so Kid, and added the band, and oops, I just lost.
It's okay, you don't have to hear yourself.
Okay, and then it stuck, and now it's so ironic because it's just me.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's even better. It's kind of like, yep. Where's the band? Well, I'm the band.
Yeah, it's me.
So you've kind of moved around. You were raised in Northern California, and you're now in Nashville. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I grew up in Sacramento, and then I lived in LA for a couple of years, and then I moved to Nashville. And Nashville, has become like a second home for me because I don't know. I've never lived in the South, but Nashville is a progressive city. Music is big there, and it's been great. It's like a slower pace, and I feel like quality of life for me has been really good.
That's awesome. So there's like a good mix of different styles of artists in Nashville, like pop. It's not mostly country, or is it a little bit of everything?
People, when you hear Nashville, yeah, like primarily it's country, but the rock scene is big. Like Kings of Leon are out of Nashville, Jack White's out of Nashville, Black Keys are out of Nashville. Yeah. And then they have an indie scene, and then they have a small pop scene. Yeah.
That's cool. And so you're part of like that indie and pop scene, a little bit of rock too. A lot of rock.
A little bit, yeah, a lot of rock, no country.
Like I said, we got to see your live show to really get the full experience.
Yeah. You got to come.
I'll be there, man. You know that. You got text me.
All right.
And then, so, I mean, are you hoping to continue to collaborate with other musicians? You just had Elliot Due on this track. Looking to, what's next in the future for Kid the Band?
Probably not collaborations. The Ellie thing was the first collaboration I've done because I wanted to be really specific about like establishing what Kid the Band is before doing like bringing other people into it. Yeah. And but Ellie was that song is such a big part of the story for me, and it was cool that she wanted to be on it. And so what's next is more music. Okay. And yeah.
And Human is also out. That's a relatively new track, I believe.
Yeah, Human is one of my favorites I've ever written.
It's a great track.
Thank you.
What's that about? Being human?
I mean, like, I won't go into the specific story, okay. But I think, like, I feel like for me, it was like that moment when you realize that people, even that are close to you and love you and that you love, they still have the ability to hurt you. Like, that doesn't exclude them from that. And, we're all human and capable of hurting people. And, so that's kind of I think the overall thing with that song.
Feel that, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if there's anything else you want to share with your listeners or new fans.
No.
But Kid the Band, KYD, the band, what you see on the YouTube now. Check out the performance. Yeah. Come back anytime.
Thank you for having me, man. I will take you up on that.
Yeah, well, we look forward to it, and best of luck with all the live shows coming up and the new music.
Appreciate
Kid the Band on We Found New Music.